I'm going to preview the Baylor versus Arizona State football game, which literally will be played Saturday, September 20th at 6:30 p.m. Central Time on Fox. The spread for this game is Baylor by 2.5. The over/under is 60.5, as in 60.5. So they expect a lot of points to be scored here. And I apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. And I put the outlook on Arizona State in the description below so y'all could see it. And Baylor's coming off of back-to-back wins against SMU in double overtime, 48-45. The following game was against Samford, not Stanford, just to make that clear to everybody on that. 42-7, though, the focus was not as good and the offense was not as sharp. I do not expect both of those problems to occur into this game. I would not think that. Now, Arizona State is also 2-1, just like Baylor is. They are coming off of a bounce-back win against Texas State, 34-15. Texas State's a good team this year. Their lone loss was to Mississippi State in the last minute of the game, 24-20. But they won their first game, though, against Northern Arizona University as an NAAU. 38-19 did not look as impressive there. And the only loss for Baylor is obviously Auburn, 38-24. And this is a massive game because it's conference play now, first of all. Second, this could dictate who goes to the Big 12 title game and who doesn't. Third, potential college football playoff hopes, because both of those teams have those hopes this year. Let's just be clear. And obviously Arizona State is the Big 12 champs from last year, while Baylor was like really close to making it. It's just like that slip of a Hail Mary away on the Hail Mary attempt by Colorado at the time. And then maybe they'll get into the Big 12 title game because of the tiebreakers, who knows. And they were really close with BYU as well. So, point being, both teams are coming off of a good year last year. Baylor won 6 straight before they lost in the bowl game to finish 8-5. Well, Arizona State did lose 3 times last year, and they finished with a loss to Texas in the college football playoff, but it was very close, and unlike some people really thought. And Arizona State does return a lot of guys on the offensive line in terms of experience. Let's be clear. And they did return a lot of guys in general from last year's squad. So they're a very experienced team. I will say, though, I don't think they are as good as last year. Obviously, they lost Cam Skattebo, but that was going to be a big loss regardless. Yeah, they were 11-3 last year, Arizona State was. Just to get that out of the way. Now, I want to just go like offense, then defense, and I'll go over a little bit of special teams in terms of kickers and punters, because they are people too. Offensively, they're a pro-style offense. They have allowed 16 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, 3. They do have 3 interceptions on the year. They average 30.67 points per game. They do average 232.3 rushing yards per game, 175.7 passing yards per game, time possession 22 seconds, 10 for 37 on third down, 6 for 9 on fourth down, 65 first downs overall. They allow 10 pass breakups and 6 quarterback hurries. They average 2 deep on the offensive line, 321.5 pounds. Obviously, I'm going to go over the stats for this year so far for all these players here. Sam Levitt is their starting quarterback, number 10, 6'2", 215-pound quarterback. That is a sophomore. I will say, though, he's not been as sharp in the early going, to say the least. 50 completions out of 86 attempts for 527 yards with 5 touchdowns and 3 picks. But he is a good runner, though. 27 rushing attempts for 157 yards with 3 touchdowns. So as a passer, I don't think he's as good when compared to last year, but he's still a good runner regardless. I will say they do have two other guys that could really run the ball really well. And Raleek Brown, he's new. He's back. Number 3, 5'9", 195-pound running back. That's a junior. 35 rushing attempts for 292 yards with 2 touchdowns and 7 receptions for 34 yards. And Kanya Udo, which you know the name from Army. Yeah, he transferred in. Number 6, 6'1", 220-pound running back. That is also a junior. 32 rushing attempts for 138 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 reception for 6 yards. Now, Kyson Brown is questionable with an ankle injury, and we'll know the official injury stats for both of these teams right before the game starts, because it's a new rule for football and men's and women's basketball for the Big 12 games here in terms of Big 12 competition. So anyway, Kyson Brown, number 1, 6'1", 205-pound running back. That is a junior. 9 rushing attempts for 84 yards and 6 receptions for 72 yards. We'll see about if he's going to play. The next guy I'm definitely going to mention is the only guy above even 180 yards. Even above 100 yards receiving. In fact, even above 81 yards receiving all year long, and that's Jordan Tyson, number 0. And he missed a college football playoff game, because I do think if he was playing for Arizona State last year, I think he would have beat Texas. But that's besides the point. Arizona State would have. Number 0, 6'2", 200-pound wide receiver. That's a junior. 24 receptions for 314 yards and 4 touchdowns. So that's the best guy by far. And I know this Shawmon Meteor, number 7, 6'4", 255-pound tight end. That is a senior. He actually had 6 receptions last game. And overall this year, he had 7 receptions for 80 yards with 1 touchdown. There's Malik McClain, number 12, 6'5", 205-pound wide receiver. That's a senior. 3 receptions for 13 yards. And a lot of those 2 guys that are skill guys that I even caught the pass besides those running backs earlier that I mentioned. Cameron Harpole, number 9, 6'3", 250-pound tight end. That's a senior. 1 reception for 4 yards. And Kamari Anderson, number 15, 6'5", 255-pound tight end. That is a junior. 1 reception for 4 yards. I know Arizona State's been without Jalen Moss. He's been questionable with a foot injury. No receptions on the year, but he was really good at Fresno State. So that's a guy that potentially could play in this game. You never know. Number 18, 6'1", 185-pound wide receiver. That's a junior. And from what I heard from Kelly Dillingham, he's a guy like in the slot that could have really helped them if he was healthy right now. He would. Now, defensively, they averaged 19.33 points per game. They allowed that. 58 first downs, 91.3 rushing yards per game allowed, 235 yards passing, which you got to look at the NAU game and the Mississippi State game. That's 2 of the biggest games they've given up more passing yards than anything else. So, 24 tackles for loss, 11 sacks, 17 pass breakups, 14 quarterback hurries, 1 interception, 2 fumbles, 13 for 45 for the opposing offense on 3rd down, and 7 for 13 on 4th down, 27 minutes, 38 seconds of time possession allowed. They actually blocked a kick this year. They run like a 4-2-5 or 4-3 defense, and their defensive line 2/3 deep is like 267.916667 pounds. But if you really particularly look like the defensive tackle, both left defensive tackle and right defensive tackle, 285.83, repeating 3 pounds. And 3 deep on the defensive line, defensive end, at both left end and the right end, 250 pounds. You know, I'm only going that far because what if they rotate guys? So, without further ado, what are some guys to keep an eye on? That's Jordan Cook, number 8, 5'11", 220-pound linebacker. That's a senior. 24 tackles, 12 solo, 4.5 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. Keyshawn Elliott, number 44, 6'2", 235-pound linebacker. That is a senior. 20 tackles, 11 solo, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 2 quarterback hurries. There's Miles Rouser, number 4, 6'1", 195-pound defensive back. That's a senior, 19 tackles, 9 solo, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass breakup, and 1 fumble recovery. There's Martell Hughes, number 18, 6'2", 220-pound linebacker. That is a sophomore, 14 tackles, 5 solo, and blocked the kick this year. There's Clayton Smith, number 10, 6'5", 255-pound defensive lineman. That is a senior, 12 tackles, 6 solo, 4.5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 1 quarterback hurry. There's Montana Warren, number 7, 6 foot, 200-pound defensive back. That is a sophomore, 12 tackles, 6 solo, 0.5 tackles for loss, 1 quarterback hurry, 3 pass breakups. There's Keith Abney the second, number 1, 6 foot, 190-pound defensive back. That is a junior, 11 tackles, 10 solo, 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack, 3 pass breakups, and forced 1 fumble. There's Zyrus Fiaseu, Fiaseu. Apologize if I butchered that. Number 36 foot, 235-pound linebacker. That is a senior, 10 tackles, 2 solo, and 1 pass breakup. There's Javon Van Robinson, number 12, 5'11", 108-pound defensive back. That is a junior, 10 tackles, 10, all those solo, and 1 pass breakup. There's Elijah O'Neal, number 9, 6'4", 260-pound defensive lineman. That is a senior, 10 tackles, 3 solo, 1.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 1 quarterback hurry. There's CJ Fight, and he's key returner for them on the defensive line. Number 99, 6'2", 305-pound defensive lineman. That's a junior, 9 tackles, 3 solo, 1.5 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hurries, forced 1 fumble, 1 fumble recovery. There is Adrian Wilson, who is stepping in for somebody else, which the next guy I'm going to mention is that guy who stepped in last game, number 6, 6 foot, 210-pound safety. That is a sophomore, 9 tackles, 7 solo, 1 pass breakup. Now, Xavier Alford's the guy that missed last game. I don't know what's going on there, but I know from what I heard from Kenny Dillingham on the press conference, he is not exactly 100% healthy, so that's why he's tied out this past game. Will he play this game? We have to wait and see. Number 2, 6 foot, 200-pound defensive back. That is a senior, 9 tackles, 4 solo, 0.5 tackles for loss. There's Jacob Rich Kongaika, Kongaika, number 98, 6 foot 2", 290-pound defensive lineman. That is a senior, 7 tackles, 2 solo, 2.5 tackles for loss, 1 quarterback hurry, 1 pass breakup, and forced 1 fumble. There's Rodney Bimage, junior, number 0, 6 foot, 190-pound defensive back. That is a junior. Yeah, 6 tackles, 4 solo. I want to just go over some more guys here on the defense. Really, Kendrick Breedlove, number 5, 5'11", 209-pound safety. That's a senior, 6 tackles, 2 solo, 2 pass breakups. Prince Dorba, number 32, 6'2", 245-pound defensive lineman. That's a senior, and I'm using the height and the weight from the Arizona State roster. The offense is more like ESPN, and same thing goes for the kicker. Punter I use from the roster as well for Arizona State, but that's besides the point. 6 tackles, 3 solo, 2.5 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hurries, and 1 pass breakup. There's Tate Romney, number 24, 6'2", 225-pound linebacker. That is a junior, 5 tackles, 1 solo, 1 pass breakup. There's Ramar Williams, number 55, 6'3", 275-pound defensive lineman. That's a freshman, 4 tackles, 2 solo, 1 quarterback hurry, 1 pass breakup. There's Justin Wotley, Wodtly. I apologize if I butchered that. Number 95, 6'2", 260-pound defensive lineman. That is a senior, 2 tackles, 1 solo. And the last guy I'm really going to mention, the last 2 guys really are like Blazin Lono Wong, number 97, 6'4", 209-pound defensive lineman. That is a senior, 2 tackles, 0 solo. And there's Anthony Cooper, number 96, 6'2", 260-pound defensive lineman. That's a senior, 2 tackles, 0 solo, 1 interception. And I know there's a defensive lineman for Arizona State that's questionable. That's Zach Swanson. He's not played this year. No tackles, that is. Number 92, 6'5", 295-pound defensive lineman as a junior. So that's a lot of guys to go over on the defensive line, I know. Now, special teams wise, they did use a different punter last game, and that's Matthew McKenzie, number 34, 6 foot, 210-pound punter as a junior. 2 punts for 71 yards, and long was 38 yards. Now, I don't know what's going on with the other punter, and I don't know why they used the other guy instead of this current guy. I'm going to just go ahead and mention his Kenyon Floyd, number 31. 6 foot, 190-pound punter. That's a sophomore. 9 punts for 403 yards. Long 58. Average 44.8. One inside. That landed inside the 20-yard line, and 3 punts that went over 50 yards. And the last guy I'm going to really mention here is Jesus Gomez, number 35. 6'2", 215-pound kicker that is a senior. He made all 11 extra points up to this point. 5 for 6 on field goals, like 1 for 1 on 1 to 19 yards, 1 for 1 for 20 to 29 yards, 1 for 1 on 30 to 39 yards, and 1 for 2 over 50 yards, and the longest 51 yards, by the way. Obviously, whatever you did right last game, you got to bring to this game. Whatever you did wrong last game, you got to correct for this game, especially the focus part of it, and everything like that. And I don't expect that to be an issue. You got to be a little bit sharper across the board. There might be some questionable calls, but at the end of the day, you got to make plays to win. You got to be a more mentally tougher team. Don't get yourself some costly unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, and you got to limit your penalties in general. I know. And if they commit them, they commit them. Try to think what else to go over, like in general. And you got to make adjustments on the fly, both offensively and defensively in this game. Not just from first half to second half, but during the first quarter, second quarter, third, and fourth. If you're going to deal with adversity, you just got to be mentally tough and find a way to overcome. And if you have a lead, protect it. That's just like across the board stuff. Now, special teams wise, don't have any special teams blunders. I mean, like a bad snap or a bad hold, because you know what happened in a Notre Dame game. Well, that's why they lost the game, right? Really, other than the defense couldn't get another stop, they botched the extra point, and that game would have gone to overtime instead of a loss. So I'm just saying, you don't want to have like muff punts, or if you don't want to have like block punts happen or block kicks. But obviously, if you do that without committing a penalty, that would be huge in this type of game. And do what you did last week against Samford and block a punt if you could, without getting penalized, of course. And you gotta have obviously good snap, good hold, make the extra point, make your field goals count in this type of game, have good punts in this type of game in general. Now, defensively, what's crazy is their strength for Arizona State is the run game, and that's Baylor's weakness. I know Jackie Marshall has not been healthy, but they need to do a little bit better against the run. And the trick is you got to have to deal with Jordan Tyson on the outside. And Sam Levitt is a really good runner, so I would think they're going to try to use a quarterback spy. And I would try to make Sam Levitt, throw the balls to somebody other than Jordan Tyson in this game and passing down situations. And get him to 3rd and longs, because that way you make it harder for them and don't want to get them to the point of 4th and short, because they might go for it and they might just run the ball. And obviously the run defense needs to step up, and the trenches in general need to be better than they have been up to this point. Let's just be clear. And you don't want to get beat over the top either, I know, but at the same time, you don't want to give so many rushing yards. And like I said, I don't know about that one receiver. Is he really going to play or really isn't for Arizona State going into this game? We'll have to wait and see. Get some create havoc plays, like a tackle for loss, a sack, a quarterback hurry to rush him to throw the ball, and make Sam Lev feel you, as in give him a good clean hit. I'm not saying personal foul, roughing a passer, or personal foul targeting. I'm just saying just a normal football play. Make him feel you, and I'm not even saying insinuating get him hurt. I'm not insinuating that at all. I'm going for more like a normal football play in this type of game. I'm just saying, don't want to get them too comfortable. And don't allow them to bully you up front. And force turnovers. Do what you did last game. Force turnovers. Whether it's like an interception, if you can make a play on the ball, you can make a play on the ball. Pick the ball off, force a fumble or strip sack, you name it, or a ball carrier trying to run the ball, strip them, and then recover it, or even a wide receiver or tight end try to strip them, and then recover it. But you get the whole gist. You got to be good in your red zone defense as well, and third down defense and fourth down defense. And there's a difference from allowing like 0 points to 7 points, obviously, and the same thing goes from a field goal to 7 points. And kind of do what you did against SMU in the second half. I mean, you stopped them a few times and made them try to do kicks, and if they miss the field goals, it's on them. I'm just saying. And they did stop them in a run game for the most part in the second half, and the same thing goes for the pass. But that's besides the point here. And it does help that Baylor's played quarterbacks similar to Sam Levitt in terms of a runner in Jackson Arnold. I know he's not as good of a passer when compared to Sam Levitt, and they played Kevin Jennings. So it does help to have some way that you could adjust from those game plans to this one. It really does. Now, offensively, you got to take care of the ball better than you did last game. That's rule number one. You got to have the offensive line has to be better in the run game, and maybe they'll go do some wide zone or stretch plays instead. Try to soften up the middle, and then maybe you could run into the middle and like those RPOs, run pass options, but the box is loaded. Maybe you throw the ball instead of running it into a box. But it's still, even if you try to run into the box, you got to be better there. And what's crazy is Arizona State's defensive weakness is against the pass. And Baylor has all these wide receivers. Look at even Michael Trigg has a tight end. And you can't forget, Bryson Washington can't catch a pass from the backfield. And same thing goes for Kane Knighton. So that does, and take what the defense gives you. You got to be better on third down this game. You got, of course, get some first downs. And if you go for a fourth down, try to convert it. And obviously in defense, you try to limit the first downs as much as possible. But you get the whole point. Offensively, you got to be better and like a little bit sharper than last week. And I'd expect that to be the case because Sawyer actually was practicing with Michael Trigg, even with Dave Aranda with the press conference going on. That's what he said. Like, oh, he was working with Michael Trigg. So that's huge. And don't have drop passes. You got to make contested catches. And obviously, if the defense is going to give you a hard hit, try to still catch the ball. Don't let them strip you and force a fumble on you at all. You got to be better in the red zone. I mean, that sometimes is the difference right there. And we're going to have to wait and see what happens. And nothing would shock me about this game right here. And nothing would. And I do think this game will be high scoring. I do. It's kind of strange that both of these teams' defensive weaknesses plays in the opponent's hands. Kind of crazy, I know. But it is what it is. And I think Dave Aranda is going to try to use the pace-up package defensively more and try to get the best guys available. I mean, the best guys that are playing well at the time to play on defense. We have to wait and see about the injury stuff for both of these teams. Within a few days of the game, they should be releasing something. But I don't know I know Jackie Marshall is practicing, and hopefully he could stay healthier because that would really help the defensive line as a whole. Hopefully DK Kalu could get healthy and Adonis Relu. So you can obviously rotate some guys in the defensive line in general and have your pass rusher step up and have your playmakers step up both offensively and defensively, while your role players need to step up. Even like the field goal kicker and the punters need to step up, because there is a difference from starting at the 20-yard line when you could pin them down to within the 5-yard line. I'm just telling the truth, and you got to make your field goals count in this game. So I know it's a lot to go over in general. I'm sorry, it's almost 26 minutes long here up to this point. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 800 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more. So remember, this course like video, comment video really helps the YouTube algorithm. Some more people see it. Sharing the video does help as well. Some more people could watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit subscribe button, click the notification bell as well. And in general, I expect Arizona State to be hungry going into this game, because we look at their schedule coming up with the next 5 games. It's very difficult. And I know Baylor's does quote unquote soften up with Oklahoma State on the road. And I'm not overlooking them because of the road environment, but then it's Kansas State that's started really rough. And then I know there's on the road to TCU. That's kind of tough. But I don't want to give any further than that. But you get the point for Baylor, and there's Cincinnati that the following game on the road right after the TCU game. So, and let's start the Big 12 season with a win at home, unlike a year ago when you played BYU, and start the Big 12 season a lot better than you did a year ago when you played Colorado at Colorado. That's their motivation right there. And I expect Arizona State to be very motivated after winning the Big 12 title. They want to start the conference play 1-0. Don't back down at home. Show them who's boss. Let's go to work and give our best shot. And stay focused and stay ready. And don't allow them to bully you up front, both the offensive line and defensive line in this game.